Hello, this is a quick tutorial on using Kennel Connection with credit card web services processing. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to log into our Kennel Connection software. And I'll show you quickly some of the credit card options. So if we go to File, Business Info, we can look here and see that we have some options for credit card processing. In terms of the receipts, we can print only, we can save electronic receipt, we can do both, print and save, and we can also email an electronic receipt once the receipt is created. For this demonstration, I'm going to leave it set to print. So I'm going to go ahead and create an invoice. And for this, we're just going to do a cash sale. We're not going to assign it to a specific customer. Okay, so we can see we have one item here for $10. You can also use a barcode scanner here. I'm not. I selected it from the list. And we have two options here. We can click Quick CC, which automatically brings us to the Take Payment screen with this amount ready to go. Or we can click Pay, where you actually have to choose the type of payment method and then select the amount that you're going to pay. So we'll start with Quick CC. Okay, so we can see here, this brought us right to the credit card screen. It automatically chose the $10 amount for us, and it's set to swipe reader. In this case here, I'm going to demonstrate a swipe, but I'm going to put in a manual entry so I can modify the expiration dates. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and swipe, and always make sure you click in the account number field, and we'll swipe the card. Okay, so that's a swipe, and then you can just hit submit. In this case, like I mentioned, we're going to put in a manual number, and this is so I can change the expiration dates. Alright, and that number's been entered, and you can see here I chose the dates from the drop down menus, and I'm going to click submit. Okay, and it came back. You can see at the bottom it says approved, and now it's asking me what I want to do with the receipt. Do I want to print it to the screen to view or send it directly to my printer? In this case, for the demo, we'll go to screen. And you can see the receipt here. Okay, and once you close out of the receipt, you can also close out of the receipt screen. And just notice you also have other options here. You can email the receipt directly to the customer if you were to choose a customer receipt. In this case, we did just a cash sale. You can print it again if you need to, and you can cancel or OK. So now we can see the amount due on the invoice is 0 because we took payment, and we'll click OK here. Now we'll do another payment or invoice and receipt, and this time we'll use the other option to take payment. So we'll go ahead and add. Okay, so this time we're going to use the pay button, and this is where you actually have to select the amount. So first thing, we change the payment method to type of credit card being used. And then look down below, click on receipt information. Put a check mark in whichever row you want to be paid. Sometimes there's multiple depending if they have any outstanding balances. Click on the credit card tab, and you're back to the same screen as before. You can do a manual or swipe and process the card. So in this case, I'm just going to click cancel. And we can see on the invoice there's still $12 due. And when we click OK on here, it'll save the invoice without the payment. So we can process that again later if we need to. Now there are different ways to create invoices and such in Kennel Connection, as you will find out or you already know. In this case here, we're just using it through the accounting screen, and I do want to show you very quickly. We did cash sales previously. If you wanted to do an invoice for a certain customer, all you have to do before you create the invoice is just click Customer, and then we'll search for the customer, choose, and now this invoice is for the customer that you selected. We'll take a quick look at the credit card management screen, which can be found under the accounting tab and then credit card management. So in here you have a few options. You can force the batch close if you need it to batch out for any reason. You can view, which is viewing all your transactions. Inside the View tab, you have multiple tabs at the bottom for tip adjustments, forcing transactions, voiding the transactions, or doing returns and or credits. You have a batch history button, which mine won't have any, but if you've done multiple batches, they'll all show here, so you can go back and review each batch. Okay, we're going to run through one more transaction here, and this time we're going to use some credit card information that we've stored in the database to a customer file, and we're going to run through the boarding screen here. So we can see we have a reservation. I'm going to go ahead and do a right click, create invoice. Okay, we can see the customer. This is for client 1. The boarding, the total, everything looks good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use a quick CC. And you'll notice the Get Credit Card Info button is grayed out. You have to change it to manual entry. And now click Get Credit Card Info. So you can see here, because we have multiple stored for this customer, it gives us options to choose. If a customer only has one credit card stored, it will automatically populate the account number, and this stored cards listing window won't even be displayed. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Amex. Okay, we can see the account number is populated and we have the expiration dates in place, and I'll go ahead and click Submit. Okay, and again we have an approved status. We can print the receipt to the screen or printer. In this case, I don't need to. I'm just going to click Cancel. Click OK to close the receipt. We have a 0 amount due, and I'm going to click OK to close the invoice. Alright, and the very last thing I'd like to show you is how to add a tip in. So in this case here, we have a grooming appointment. So we're going to go ahead and create an invoice. Okay, so we can see it's for $15 here. I'm going to go ahead and use Quick CC again. And in this case here, we're going to put the tip number in. So we're going to do a $10 tip. And I want the tip to go to a certain employee. So we'll go with admin for now. And I'm going to do a manual entry. Okay, and I have the expiration month and year in, the tips there, everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. Okay, so again we have approved status, and this time we'll take a look at the receipt. So we can see here we have the $15 amount plus a $10 tip for $25. Amount due is 0. So we'll close the receipt, close out of the receipts window, close out of the invoice, again 0 amount due. And we'll go back to Invoices and we'll take a look. So we can see here the invoice is for $15. It doesn't include the tip. Go to Display Receipts, take a look at the actual receipt. And we can see here the total was $25, which includes the tip, but it actually does break it down. So we have a $15 amount plus a $10 tip, and the invoice again for $15. And that about covers the baseline of using credit card processing web services with KC. As always, if you have any questions, give us a call or send us an email, and we'll get right back to you. Thank you.